Well, part two, we're rambling here that my computer system was giving me a little bit of an issue here. 5:21 in the morning West Coast time. Still May 3rd of 2024. It's Friday, boys and girls. We were John C. Roseman, California, trying to continue a thought pattern over here until I was trying to clear up something on my computer screen here, and then all hell broke loose. I was talking about democracy. I was talking about how our democratic system is going to be changing into an autocratic society, and then I get tweaked on this one here. I was just trying to pull something here. Now I'm pissed at myself over this. I was trying to make an indication to someone, and I'll be sending some links over to him. Forgive me for the rough cut and the rough shod about this one here. I'm seeing how our democracy is being screwed over one way or another, even with good intentions. The anti-Semitic bill being passed through the House and going through the Senate right now. They'll take some time to debate this one. And there are politicians in the House of Representatives that I got an issue and I got a bone with, but they got a point. We take our freedoms and democracies way too much for granted. We need to get our ass kicked on this one. And we're just not knowing it, but we're getting our ass kicked royally on this one. The anti-Semitic bill, as far as I understand it, was trying to define what hate speech is. But they should have said something about hate speech in itself. But I hate to bring people up to this particular court case because it still lurks in the back of my head. This lurks so damn bad in the back of my head, it's not even funny. So I'm going to be really pissy about this one here. And if my language gets too foul for people's ears, well, I hate to say that one, but try this one. Back in the 70s, we had the American Nazi Party going to be marching into this one town in Illinois, I think. Was it in Illinois? I'm trying to get the state on this one here. I'm trying to get the. There we go. I'm trying to get the basis of. Where the hell is this one at? Hold on with me, boys and girls, on this one here. Where the hell was this on? Skokie was located where? Oh, come on. Where the hell was Skokie located at? We'll have a St. Mike. Village of Skokie. Where you live? Illinois. Thank you, Lord Almighty. Okay. Skokie, Illinois. Back in the 70s. You had the American Nazi Party, or actually what they call the National Socialist Party of America. It's still the American Nazi Party. Going to be marching into a village of Skokie. And you had a population in there of Jewish folks. I just wanted to live in peace, work with their neighbors, be neighborly. No, we had to have bullies and idiots coming through the party saying, "Oh no, I blame life for you. We blame life on you. We blame everything on you. It's all your fault. Everything's on your fault." Marching there with our brown shirts and our black boots and our armbands with figures and things you really detest. Scare the hell out of you. Good. Here we go. We're going into your town and march up. And then the cop said, "No, you don't." The cop said, "No, you don't. Not in this town. You're not going to do this." "Yes, we can. Because we're there. We're going to go over here and terrorize these people. We have our freedom to speak." "No, you don't." "We have the right to protest." "No, you don't. You're just getting out of here." "Jail him." So they jailed him. And the party sued. Now, the local court systems in there said, "No, you don't have a right to be here at all. You're spewing vitriol, hatred, and nasty things, and you're being nasty people. You don't have a right to be here. So, we're going to sentence you, or actually fine your ass, and tell you to get the hell out of here." I said, "No, we're not. We're coming through." So they appealed it, and the appellate stuck for the villagers, for Illinois. Illinois thought they had a handle on their racism situation until the Supreme Court hit. Case came out in 1977, June 14th. It was granted and decided on the same day. And there is information out there in law reviews for this. Basically, what the Supreme Court was hearing, the right to protest, the right to free speech was being curtailed by city and state and county of Illinois. People have the right for free speech. And at that time, that included hate speech. They said they were granting, or actually confirming, the right for free speech. Confirm this one. But it gets better. The Supreme Court grants you the right. I never said anything about the damnability or how it's going to be carried out or if it will be carried out. But you have the right to freedom of speech. But they left the details down to the state of Illinois, to the city of Skokie. The controlling detail factor on this one of where and when and how. Of course, they didn't like it, but they were told, hey, the Supreme Court said that you have the right to free speech. This is where you need it, but you need permits. No, we don't. We want to march in this neighborhood and scare the living crap out of them. All we want to do is go down these streets over here. No, you don't. Why not? I got the right to free speech. Yeah, but not here. He said, you have the right to do free speech. Yes, that's right. Problem is, we control how, where, and how, and when. No, you don't. Yes, we do. And if you don't like it, you're out of here and you're jailed. No! Supreme Court will tell you that you got the rights for it, but when it comes down for the devil in the details, at this point, I always hate using that damn term. But the details are done by the state and by county and by local. Keep that in mind. We have an anti-Semitism bill going through. Anti-Semitism is saying you can't harm Jewish people, their speech, the country, anything about them, including the right to insult the living crap out of them. There was a lot of people in the Congress who voted it down, but there was a lot more people who supported it. I suppose they're going to be called anti-Semites or something like that. And the thing of it is, I don't support the bill. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a First Amendment kind of guy. I believe in the right to freedom of speech, but the problem is it always has a cost in the damn thing, and I always knew it. But I said one thing to my political science professor back in Antelope Valley College that I'd taken 101 with him, and plus a couple other classes with him, because I loved the way he was trying to communicate political science to us and made us think, made us try to analyze it. And this one really pissed me off, especially when I had an argument with the guy concerning about how government systems were being corrupted and changed, even though they're theoretically or trying to show themselves as democratic. I'm almost understanding his point of view. When people can throw away their rights and freedoms without ever realizing what the hell they were doing because of damn ignorance, including curtailing a person's right to insult a country that may have an administration, which I think they do, that is being autocratic in its own way, telling people it's democratic, but with a guy who's got a bloodlust going on right now that he can't see past it, and he doesn't want to see past it. He sees death and destruction of a race, and he's willing to go genocide, and yet try to be democratic about it. But we passed a bill saying that we can't insult these people or claim vitriol or claim our disputes against them or those they represent because of a bill coming through, but also it's against someone's rules and rights. But the thing is, looking back at Skokie, even the ugliest have the right for freedom of speech. But it's also the local constabulatories and maybe the federal government to control that right. Do I hate Israel that much? No. Do I hate the people that much? No. But when it comes down to freedom of speech, that's the thing I support right there, no matter how ugly it gets, because there is a cost on it. There is a cost on it. We lose people. We lose values. We lose ourselves because we want to preserve that right, part of that Constitution, because it does theoretically give us the rights. But the problem is the court systems define the limitations based upon the rules and regulations being passed by the local to the federal. But we're talking about a federal, so we're dealing with Congress and its ineptitude. In this current term of Congress, we have ineptitude with no basic understanding of what freedom of speech is except for an anti-hate bill going through, but they don't call it anti-hate, they call it anti-Semitism. We don't want anything insulting the Jewish people ever. But the problem is that's going to be violating the First Amendment rights at this point over here, no matter how disgusting that damn thing is, because, again, I raise Skokie versus the Nazi Party on this one, and it is a Supreme Court case. And one of the most ugliest tests we had in our court systems and in our country's history. I said one of them. We had a lot of them. We deemed slavery was illegal. How long did it take us? About a century and a half. We said women have rights. Well, how long did it take for that one, too? Another century? Everyone has the right to vote. A lot longer than that. We have freedom of action happening, and that's being torn apart. So we have the courts and we have legislature to determine what our freedoms are supposed to be. The courts are the overseers of the laws. They're supposed to review, interpret, and sometimes make judicial review. By their decisions affects our laws, our rules, our rights, our freedoms. And the question concerning about the anti-Semitism bill coming through. We have a right to insult everybody, but the problem is, how far does it go? Again, we still need legislature to say that, and we're going to have a major debate on this one. Hence the one concerning about going against Israel, because they're supposed to be an ally. It's not just Israel. It's people of Jewish faith and of belief. And I had friends and I had family, or extended family of that. But you consider, if one group is going to be elitist on this one because of the ruling, then everything else should be elitist. Meaning, if we have Christians going against Israel, or Israeli born, or of the faith of Israel, is it the right of the Christians to attack people who are trying to live in faith? Do we also have the right to attack anybody else and use Islamophobia? We probably would have a right out there to say stop the hate speech and stop the hatred. But How do you define it? We would define it one way, yeah, but then it controls everybody else. It curtails them. Meaning, if I'm going to be focusing on, let's say, Christianity, and a lot of people thinking that Christianity is being attacked left and right. Sometimes I'm thinking Christianity is the attacking everybody else. So let's say if we wrote a law, if there's a law written out there going against Christianity, you cannot follow Christ because you are going against everybody else's religion. You cannot practice your faith openly because it insults other religions. You cannot be faithful because you're being prejudicial towards everybody else. You can replace the word Christianity for Islamophobia. You can put it against anti-Semitism. Doesn't matter. You're making one religion and one faith into elitism. Some people say, no, 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 no. Now you're attacking Christians. You can't attack Christians. No, no, no. You can't attack Jewish. You can't attack us, period. Then we have to define it, don't we? Because if we want to say something about anti-hate, if we want to say something about hate speech at this point over here, then understand under the Constitution of the United States that if you happen to take away that freedom, even the freedom for me to spout off hatred, or better yet, spout off love for that, and open and freedom for that particular class or classes, that'll be taken away because I have elitism over my ass saying I can't do that because of power of the people who elected other people to make those kind of laws and rules had just decided that. You figuring this shit out yet? Well, this is what we've got going. No wonder the people in the House of Representatives and Senate are going to have to debate this damn thing even worse. But they already passed the thing in the House. Now it's going to be up to Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in there, and not to mention a few other Republicans over there, to wonder whether or not this is legitimate or not. And if these videos can actually get to the federal government, to Chuck Schumer and to the rest of them, I hope so. Because they have to understand what's at stake. Freedom of speech itself. Again, rulings like the Skokie ruling and SCOTUS has a direct bearing. We have the right to protest. We have a right for freedom of speech. We don't have the right to be hatred. But you can't legislate hatred because, as someone actually said, and I probably would agree with them, how do you legislate behavior? Well, how do you legislate yourself and your behavior? We're seeing it. We're seeing how our country is so damn polarized and divided, it can't even see beyond its own damn nose. We can't see it. It's right in front of us. It wraps us around like a comforting old blanket that hurts like hell, but we can't get rid of it because we're so damn numb to the pain, to the irritation, to the itch, to the squeezing effect of this comfortable coat that we just can't get ripping out of our own damn souls, our own mindset. But this is what we voted in centuries ago to have a country like this. We have to have debate. We have to have understanding. We have to find compromise. And compromise is a complete pain in the ass. But this is how democracy is. We have to understand both sides of the view. We can argue strenuously about it. But we are utilizing the traditions of this country and of the government practice that our forefathers and the founders have created for us. Hamilton would have a field day over this. Jefferson would be going crazy on this one. So would Franklin on this one. And quite frankly, Adams. I think both Adams would go crazy over this one. Even Washington? Would he go insane over this? They had issues back then in the 1700s when they were trying to find out the atmosphere and the attitude and what constitutes the United States of America. What is being American all about? And we're not showing it to them. We're not showing what America is because we don't even know how to define it anymore. America is still being defined. We say land of the free and home of the brave. Pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're supposed to be immoral and just, and yet, with freedom, has great responsibility added to it. And we as Americans had people fought and died to give us that understanding, that freedom, that liberty that we so squander away. And people like Orban would want to take over as complete powerheads. But we already have an Orban. We have Trump and his Trumplicants out there who already had the thought patterns out there. He's just a figurehead for everything else going on. And even in a well-intentioned democracy, it can be fouled up like crazy. You want to reclaim your freedom back, unfortunately, you gotta define the damn thing first. Did you want your freedom enslaved? Did you want to be a slave and indentured person? Did you want your vote to count? Did you want your freedoms to count? Did you want anything of you to count? Because if you're part of a system that says none of you exist for a reason, you shouldn't exist for a reason. You are non-existent, null and void, because I am the power, but I still need your votes to look like I am a democratic powerhouse here. Bullshit. But unfortunately, that's what we got. I don't take back the language. I'm not taking back the thoughts and sentiments at this point over here. I'm saying what's on my mind this morning. I'm saying what's pissing me off these days. I'm saying how our election cycle is going to be the most turbulent as we see right now. But there may be worse. It may be worse off down the road than we understand and believe. Every term or every year, a college has, Antelope Valley College of Lancaster, California, has for its students essay contests regarding political science. Viewpoints happening. How they see, how they view our country, its history, but its future. How does the political process work, interpreted, misinterpreted, acted, reacted? How does any of it work? And how is any of it going to affect us a great deal? The trouble is, we're already showing it. We've been showing it. It's the reason why I have always encouraged myself, if I'm going to be studying political science, I got to study the mechanisms. If I'm going to study history, I got to see the political machinery. We got machines working in the system here. Read the Federalist Papers. You'll see the basic impressions of the machine. It's not just the Constitution. It's how the Constitution was thought of. How it's supposed to be running. Then you look at today. And then you try to interpret everyone else's reactions of how and why it's happening. I'm going to end off. If I can just find the damn thing before my computer starts having a conniption fit on me here. American president's quotes. No, speech. Once I get this information loaded up on the YouTube, I'm going to get this posted because this is a basis. You have to read it. If you can find the video anywhere, including streaming, watch it. Shoot to the end where he's got this going on, or go to YouTube because this is important. A reporter at the press conference is asking the press secretary a question. I got to put this in here because I've got to put it in here. Robin, will the president ever respond to Senator Rumson's question about being a member of the American Civil Liberties Union? President Shepard walks in, and he answers, yes, he will. Good morning. Members of the White House press corps begin to rise, and he goes, it's all right. Please keep your seats. Good morning. For the last couple of months, Senator Rumson has suggested that being president of this country was, to a certain extent, about character. Although have not been willing to engage in his attacks on me, I have been here 3 years and 3 days, and I can tell you without question, uh, hesitation, but I'd like question better. Being president of this country is entirely about character. Yeah, paraphrasing, I'm sorry. For the record, yes, I am a card-carrying member of the ACLU. But more question is, why aren't you, Bob? Now, this is an organization whose sole purpose is to defend the Bill of Rights. So naturally begs the question, why would a senator, his party's most powerful spokesman, and a candidate for the president, chose to reject upholding the Constitution? Now, if you can answer that question, folks, then you're smarter than I am, because I didn't understand it until a few hours ago. America isn't easy. America is advanced citizenship. You got to want it bad because it's going to put up a fight. It's going to say, you want free speech? Let's see you acknowledge a man whose words make your blood boil, who's standing center stage and advocating at the top of his lungs that which you would spend a lifetime opposing at the top of yours. You want to claim this land as the land of the free? Then the symbol of your country cannot just be a flag. The symbol also has to be one of the citizens exercising his rights to burn that flag in protest. Now show me that. Defend that. Celebrate that in your classrooms. Then you can stand up and sing about the land of the free. I've known Bob Rumson for years, and I've been operating under the assumption that the reason Bob devotes so much time and energy to shouting at the rain was that simply he didn't get it. Well, I was wrong. Bob's problem isn't he doesn't get it. Bob's problem is he can't sell it. We have serious problems to solve, and we have serious people to solve them. And whatever your particular problem is, I promise you, Bob Rumson, or whatever name that you put in there anyway, is not the least bit interested in solving it. He's interested in two things, and two things only: making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it. Hint, hint! That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win elections. You gather a group of middle-aged, middle-class, middle-income voters who remember with longing of an easier time, and you talk to them about family and American values and character, and you wave an old photo of the president's girlfriend, and you scream about patriotism. You tell them she's to blame for their lot in life, and you go on television and you call her. I'm not using that damn word. Thank you very much. Okay. Then it gets into the character, talking about his love life. But I wanted to get to that portion of it, and then there's the last portion of it he's got. We got serious problems, and we need serious people. And if you want to talk about character, Bob, you better come at me with more than just burning a flag and a membership card. If you want to talk about character and American values, fine. Just tell me where and when, and I'll show up. This is a time for serious people, Bob, and your 15 minutes are up. Then he identifies himself as he is Andrew Shepard, and he is the President of the United States. Yeah, I taken out the City Ellen Woods thing over here, but to me, the basis of that movie was not just being a romantic comedy or a romantic drama on that one. It's also the political system. Now, if you want to be a wokeism liberal and enjoying stuff like that, you watch the West Wing series. But if you want to hear that particular portion of why it's so damn relevant, I'll have to include the clip on this one here to my diatribe, my monologue, my slickry. Yeah, my time's over because I've got real life kicking in and I got to take care of things. So, my name is John Cameron Weaver. I am not the President of the United States. But on this channel, I deal strictly with my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviors, my interpretations, my observations, my grieving, my mourning, and my depression like crazy. And on some days, it's a bear. With that being said, this is the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which is me.